What's that book you got there?
Oh, I'm reading Bryan Michael Stoller's Filmmaking for Dummies.
Oh.
Chapter 1, Find Your Fetish. I, Bryan Michael Stoller, prefer to inflate and deflate people. If you have a fetish for your movie, it'll draw the audience in and make them wonder, why the fuck am I watching this? Hi, welcome to Rough Cuts.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
The book must never get into the hands of the evil one.
Let's see what this magic can do.
Hand over the book.
I'm not gonna be bullied anymore. How about we show them something they haven't seen?
Welcome to Rough Cuts, everybody. We watched, I'm your
watched some
host.
shit.
All right. I'm your host, Ilion. This is my co-host, Poix. You picked bad movies. I picked good movies. That's what we're determining. I picked the best movies. Although this was a joint effort. I picked a Bryan Michael Stoller movie by accident, and then we saw related movies and saw this, and this is a treat.
Oh man.
This is a treat.
Like, fuck The Room. This might
Oh,
be
man.
my favorite unintentionally funny movie.
Was it that high for you?
I was
It's-
dying.
I mean, it's up there. Don't get me wrong. It's magical.
Oh, they did not mean like 90% of what was funny in this film, and it works so well. It's pure comedy gold.
There's some moments where you're not sure if they're in on the joke, but also having seen the Santa Stole Our Dog, which is unintentionally bad, I don't think they meant any of this. Yeah, this seems like an accident.
This is a fuck up that somehow worked. Yeah. This is The Amazing Wizard of Paws. The poster for this makes it look like a Harry Potter movie.
Well, and see, that's where I was smart enough to go, like, you should read it, because I don't think that it's actually... They'll just use the typesetting. They're not going to have it to do anything to do with fucking Harry Potter, because that's what, like, same with, like the Molly one.
Molly Moon, yeah.
Yes, any movie that has magic in it at all now tries to use the Harry Potter typeset, because they just want to do that for their cover and try and trick grandmas into buying the movie. That's all that is. That's just marketing, baby. No, this movie stands up on its own.
After chapter 1 about
lore
getting
all
your
of itself.
fetish into the film, chapter 2 of Filmmaking for Dummies is to just market, copy, whatever's
Marketing. Make sure you
Yeah.
put your book inside of your movie so that people will search for it.
Not only his book, but his other movies.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he does do that too,
But
doesn't
all
he?
of his other films. They even went to a theater to show his films at the theater.
And everybody was excited by his movies. They were so entranced by the intricate web that Bryan Michael Stoller had weaved for them.
The easiest thing to compare this to is The Room for me, but I think it's actually closer to what you were saying, which is a Neil Breen movie.
Yes, yeah,
It's
it
closer to
feels
just
very,
somebody
yeah.
who's so full of themselves and just wants to make something, and they're fully wholehearted about that. And
It seems like it, yeah.
yeah,
I'm not 100%. I don't know. I'm having trouble parsing out how much this guy knows he's a hack and how much he doesn't, because well, you linked me stuff from Silly Movie 2.
yeah, I don't think they made
Miss
a silly
Cast.
movie 1, by the way.
Yeah, Miss Castaway and the Island Girls, aka Silly Movie 2. And that one has jokes in it, and it's just funny. Like, honestly, that scene that you showed me is just that's just good comedy. And it's set up as comedy, like
Yeah, with special guest star his good friend, Michael
friend.
Jackson,
Michael
who he was
Jackson.
friends with for 20 years until his passing.
How?
I read that. I know how. He did a Pepsi commercial spoof of Michael Jackson, and then Michael Jackson contacted him and was like, "Hey, you want to come to my ranch?" So he had to ask somebody to confirm that it was actually Michael Jackson, and then he just showed up at his ranch and was like, "We're friends now."
Huh.
They were planning to direct a
I-
movie together.
That would have been amazing. Honestly, God, I need to use rickety rhyme. Let's go back in time. Let's
To go save Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson and have this. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's a bad idea. Yeah,
Changing the timeline only changes one thing in the timeline. As we all know, there's no butterfly effect to time
Well,
travel.
and with a time delay, though, Boyk, sometimes there's a time delay. There's a
It gets
butterfly
stuck in
effect.
the
His
tubes.
mom didn't remember everything else, and there was no foreclosure. Okay, we need to get into the movie. We're jumping
movie's
way ahead.
Fucking weird.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Where do you
can
start?
I don't. You start. I'm not doing.
So the movie opens on his dad, this small child's dad, driving home and calling them and going, "No, don't worry, buddy. I'll make sure I make it there for your birthday. I mean, I'm only 2 weeks from retirement, so I'll definitely be home on time. Anyways, let me talk to my now recently pregnant wife while I'm on the while I'm driving this car on the phone. I certainly will not die. I love living and not dying. It's the best."
And then she's like, "Hey, tomorrow you're gonna win Salesman of the Year, right? Wow, we should celebrate that with your son's birthday at the same time."
We can't get Timmy to go off to wizard school otherwise if that bastard's in the way.
Yeah, Salesman of the Year! God, they're death flagging this guy real bad.
Oh my god, okay. Sure.
Will you be home in time for my birthday?
Yeah. They're gonna honor me for all of my work just before I retire. Oh no! Smash!
I can't believe the dad got in a car accident like that. Wow.
Right after all of those conversations? Wild.
Yeah, while driving at night on a 2-lane highway on the phone, distracted.
Ooh. It's the most death flagging of its death flags I've ever seen anybody throw.
I did call the death flag, but it was also really obvious.
It was you can't say that you called the death. You were like, "Oh man, how do I know all these movies?" I'm like, "You can't take credit for this one." Come on.
Right, but what I did take credit for was calling Obi-Wan would show up.
Okay, but you didn't even mean that one. That's the best part. Because in the meantime, as the dad is crashing his car on a coastal highway, a Jeff Warlock's grandfather from Spooky Buddies has popped into this movie and is fighting a Obi-Wan for a magical book, and Obi-Wan disappears himself into the book, I guess, or with the
something.
book. The book and him just fade away, and you go, "Oh, Obi-Wan was killed by Jeff Warlock here." And then he shows up only as a hologram, like a fucking forced ghost for the rest of the movie, you goddamn psychopath. Like, how are you such a psychic? How do you manage this? How do you tap into their flow?
Well, I read Filmmaking for Dummies. I know. It says right there, you turn your character into Obi-Wan. I read it. It was in the chapter.
Always, yeah.
Alright, so we got Obi-Wan and... Wait,
Professor Snape. Yeah.
Is that Snape or is that, Oh god. The Spooky Buddies wizard.
Jeff
Jeff.
Warlock.
Yeah, is that Jeff Warlock's father?
Oh my god.
It might be.
20 minutes later.
I don't know. Oh my god, it's Obi-Wan!
Oh my, you called that he was Obi-Wan.
Hello, boy.
You know the worst part? You said that this man was Obi-Wan when he first showed up, and now he's a hologram, and I kind of hate you.
And how do you know my name?
Oh.
Yeah, there's also a dog that's watching the wizard duel in the woods. And then it transitions to modern day in a way that you would never notice the difference. It's such a cool After Effects that they spent 5 seconds on.
So what they did is, like, I can tell you exactly what this was. They like fuzzy cut around the dog. The worst part is they like alt select the dog on like a green screen to put it in these different scenes.
Yeah.
But when they select for the dog, they also just like, they're like, ooh, those edges are really sharp. How do we stop those edges from being so sharp? I know, we'll feather it. And so it's like blurry for like the first 20 pixels on all of the edges, where they like just kind of blur the shit out of it to be like, no, see, it's not sharp, so it's fine. And it's like, that's not... No,
that doesn't make it look better.
That makes it look worse. That's not a better effect, man. So there's this Photoshop JPEG ass dog that's in the background watching them duel, and then the background fades to him watching the boy and being like, "Hey kid, what you doing? Do you want to learn some magic?"
Yeah. It's so good. Like, it's a precursor to all the other Photoshop effects they use in the movie, because you can tell that they like just learned that Photoshop has built-in filters.
What do you? I don't know what you're talking about. They use other effects in this movie. I thought that was all magic, boys.
They're gonna use those filters. So the dog goes to present time, and the kid's like sitting there. He's like, "My dad's dead. I can't believe my dad died in a horrible car accident. It was not flagged at all."
Oh god!
and then the dog's like looking at him through the window. He's like, "Oh, was that a dog? What the hell? I should go out and pet that dog. I'm gonna go pet that dog." So he goes.
Looks like backyard. A really big thing too when it goes through the window. Like, it's not that dog that's moving around back there.
Well, so he goes to the backyard, and his backyard 8-foot deep jacuzzi, pool size.
God,
it's
right.
huge.
I forgot about the big. Yes, the big pool.
And he's looking at the dog, and the dog's looking at him. And then Jeff Warlock shows up, hovering over the jacuzzi, and fucking drowns him in the jacuzzi.
For no reason. Why does he do that to this child? Why does he drown the kid in the jacuzzi? Also, the reason why it's over a jacuzzi is so that they can bubble the water with the jacuzzi jets.
So it looks like magic.
The evil Jeff Warlock. And Jeff Warlock is also very obviously like a
green screen,
like cut out. Like, oh, it's so bad how blurred. Oh man!
Have a safe flight.
Holy!
Are they gonna drown the child?
I love you.
Oh my god!
Oh wow! I didn't expect wizard drowning in the first 5 minutes, to be fair.
So the mom revives the kid and takes him to a psychiatrist. Not a hospital.
No.
And the psychiatrist is doing magic tricks, like disappearing a quarter or something under a handkerchief. Wow. And he comes up to the mom, and he's like, "Oh, I think he's okay." And she's like, "Yeah, he just got a little water in his lungs. He just inhaled a lot of water so I need to know what's wrong with him. And he's like, oh, he's got agoraphobia from his dad dying and almost drowning in the pool afterwards. And he's very anxious around people now.
Thank you
Okay.
very much, amazing, amazing Tim. I'm glad that we came to you for psychiatric advice. He's just showing off his amateur magic act to this child the whole time.
What? What?
You know, therapy.
Yeah. So they go home, and then the dog rings the doorbell. No fake dog paw. Very upset at that. And they go to the door, like, oh, look, it's a dog. You're not a coyote that tried to drown my son at all. You're just a dog.
Yeah, they thought that there was a coyote that
tried
tried to
to
drown the
drown
kid.
my
I forgot
son in
about
a
that.
jacuzzi.
They go like, what? Well, what happened? How did he fall into the jacuzzi and start getting drowned? And they're like, I don't know, probably a coyote did it.
Coyote held his head under the water. Like, what?
It was just,
Maybe it was a coyote. They've been seen a lot in the neighborhood lately.
Yeah. So they take the dog in and they start putting up lost posters, which only has their phone number, which is important. So Jeef Warlock finds the lost dog poster and goes to a phone book and looks at every list until he finds the right number alphabetically.
Can I just mention, I just want to say, so we're calling him Jeef Warlock. The reason why is this man is in like the shittiest possible black robes with like a goatee because he's the evil wizard and like long raven black hair. He has blue and black. Yeah, I was gonna say he has blue and black fingernails and like eyeliner. It's
But he looked up their address in a phone book based on their phone number.
He obsessively went through and checked all the phone numbers to find an address, which that takes some dedication.
So he shows up at their door. He's like, "Hey, I'm here for my dog." And the mom answers like, "Oh, okay. I mean, my son's kind of attached to that dog now, though, so I don't know if I want to give him up at all, even though I put up the sign that said I'm going to give this dog back. Do you have any proof that it's your dog? I want my dog. Oh, how did you get this address anyway? I just left a phone number. That's fucking weird. Oh my god!"
And then she goes, "Wait, how did you find it out?" And she turns on a dime because she's like, "That's weird. How did you get to my house from the phone number?" Oh my god, 911! And she's just like screaming and racing into the house, slamming the door. Like she loses her shit instantly. She 180s so fucking hard. And it was like, whoa, lady, okay. I mean, yes, this is a little creepy, but holy shit.
Yeah, so Jeef's about to get the key, which is on the dog's collar, which Jeef was trying to get earlier from Obi-Wan with the book.
Well, he was trying to get the book. He wasn't trying to get the key. The key just...
Nah.
Because he was chasing the book, man, and now suddenly he's after a key instead.
He wants the key instead? Yeah, I don't... Whatever, it's Jeef. I'm
it
not
doesn't
gonna
make
question
sense
what
because
Jeef
this
wants
movie
to
does
do.
not understand what it's doing.
But Jeef, like, reaches for the key, and right as he's about to grab the key on the dog's collar, the police sirens go off, and Jeef's like, I don't want to go to jail.
Oh, no. Yeah, he melts his way through the door. He like Photoshop. He After Effects just fades into existence inside of the house, and then he's like, "Oh no!" But the police. I guess.
Yeah. So then the family's like, "Well, that was fucking weird." Anyway.
Let's just forget about that forever.
Anyway, kid, it's now your service dog for your anxieties, so you have to take him everywhere.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
it's not a service trained dog.
Nope.
That's not how that works. Unless you're trying to take your emotional support emu on a plane, then you get a service animal vest for it on eBay or Amazon. But like, come on.
Yes. So now he has the dog as his service animal. So he has to go and see the cameo where we can make sure that we have the fetish start popping up here.
Gotta make sure to get your fetish in, yeah.
And he goes to a local diner? ?
Like a
and
50s
sees,
diner? Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Tiny, played by Tiny Lister, who's just playing himself after he lost his job at the WWE and has to work as a
Yep.
cashier at this 50s diner in small town America. And Tiny's a fucking bastard. Holy shit.
Tiny hates dogs. That's the one thing I know about Tiny.
No dogs allowed. What's the matter with you, kid? Get that dog out of here now.
He throws this child out. The kid's like, well, but he's my service animal. And he's got like a service animal vest and stuff. And Tiny just is having none of this shit. He comes in off the top rope and tries to just
Chokes
like
the
he's
dog out.
yeah, he's take it outside.
It's so good because the manager comes by after that scene. He's like, Tiny, if you do that again, I'm gonna fire you.
Do that again and you're fired.
Do what again? Throw a kid out of your fucking restaurant for having a service animal? How often does Tiny do this?
I mean, you'd think that once would be enough to earn a firing, actually.
Yeah, and that's not technically the scene where the fetish comes in, but it sets up the fetish for later.
It sets it up. Well, I mean, I would say that it is the scene that sets up the fetish. That is the fetish because Tiny is actually a very large man for being.
He's a very tall man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a joke or something.
Yeah.
I think that he's just very into things that are pretty big too. Tiny's real big, you see. He's a big guy.
When I was a kid, if someone brandished a shrink gun, he'd get a little bit of respect. Back off! I'll make it teensy.
Yeah, but the kid gets thrown
That,
out of the
that's
restaurant.
it. You know that I'm not
That's
wrong.
the joke. Yeah. But the kid gets thrown out of the restaurant, so he's walking around, and then he looks up in the sky, and there's a butterfly. So the kid goes, "Is this a bird?" and holds up his hand like the meme. The butterfly lands on his hands, and it turns into a $20 bill. And now he's like, and then I found $20, and now the story's way more interesting. And I don't know what the fuck that was about. But
Well, it was because then he goes to the bookstore down the street with his $20 and finds the book that the Obi-Wan had in the beginning. And as all of the people in the store stare at him with wide eyes and like just watch him the whole time in the most creepy fucking way possible and like direct him to that book. And it's like, how much is this book? Oh, you have $20 that you magically found from a butterfly? That book is $20, child. Give us
and
the
the kid's
$20.
like, wow,
and here
that's
all
exactly
three people
how
behind
much
him
I
go,
have.
yes, the $20. And he goes, huh, this seems like a normal bookstore. Let me give you this normal $20 I just found. Anyways, goodbye. And leaves.
$20.
That's exactly how much I have.
The book, by the way, is a bedazzled Necronomicon.
Oh my god. It's... Mm-hmm.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
the
it's
worst
full of
prop
dollar
I've
store
ever
gems.
seen. It's so fucking bad. And they keep zooming in on it and being like, look how cool this prop looks.
It has a really good CGI lock that when they put the key against it, it wiggles around a bunch because they couldn't figure out how to center it in one spot.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Doggy B has a better Dogronomicon.
I can believe you're saying that. Doggy be whipped.
Doggy B has a fucking dope as shit Dogronomicon, and this book is nothing like it.
Oh. On a scale of Dogronomicons, this is on the low end, because Spooky Buddies had a pretty good one, too.
I can't believe we have a list of dog Necronomicon movies.
Yeah, this is on the low end of that, but it's on the high end of everything else, to be fair.
Oh my god. So the kid's leaving the bookstore, and there's a suit of armor outside. And by a suit of armor, I mean they went to a Halloween store, like a Spirit Halloween, and bought the cheapest looking, shittiest looking armor, like suit
and
they could find.
Shittiest looking plastic axe they could find.
Yep. And the suit of armor starts following him down the street, which the kid does not notice for multiple blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he's turning the corner to a place where it's free to shoot,
not wrong.
Yeah. Then the armor guy starts chasing him. So they run through a tunnel where it's free to shoot, and then the arbor just like falls into pieces by
It
magic or
blasts
something.
to pieces because everyone knows that tunnels stop armor. And
Yeah, like
that's
sure.
the end of that scene.
I don't know what that was about, but it was like a horror slasher scene
The
for like a
filmmaker
minute.
also does not know what it's about. I mean, they did like the horror thing too earlier, where they had the dog outside, and he's like, "What's that moving through the window?" Like they've done a few
Mhm.
horror shots, and it for some reason I don't know why.
The kid goes back home
Yeah.
with his book, and what happens with the book? How do they move forward with this bedazzled Necronomicon?
Well, he's sitting there and he's like, "Huh, it has a key. A key. Where have I seen a
There's a
key?
lock with a keyhole. Yeah.
Lock and a key. And the dog's sitting there right behind him with a key collar, just staring at him, going like, "Dude, like, come on." And he grabs the key, and the CGI lock wiggles into place to fit the key, and bursts into After Effects so that they can open up the book. And yeah, then he is just flipping through it, and the dog starts talking to him because he's been chosen as a wizard. It was his fate, you see. It's almost like catching a butterfly that turns into $20, and then you immediately go to a bookstore where everybody directs you to a book that's worth exactly $20, and then a suit of armor chases you, and all the bookstore people are like, "Pick the book," in the same
Yep.
intonations. Maybe is actually a sign of a thing.
I'm feeling like this is very demonic, actually, in some way. I don't. Weird. Yeah, and
Well, they
as the
actually get
kid.
into that because the evil guy's powers are also derived from the book. It's a yin and yang
Mhm,
thing. You have to seal
mhm.
away all of magic for all time so that good and evil can't use it, you see.
Which is bad because good should use evil magic. That's the lore, I think, of the
Well,
movie.
no, boy. See, the dog says specifically that magic can't be used to save them from their house being foreclosed on. Oh, by the way, their
Oh
house is
yeah,
being
that's part of
foreclosed on.
it. Yeah.
Also, and that it can't be used to travel through time and save his dad specifically. It
Ever.
specifically cannot do either of those two things. It's
Yeah.
never, ever, ever allowed. You cannot use
If
time
your
magic.
dad's dead and your house is foreclosing, magic
Absolutely
cannot
do
save
not do
that.
magic. Yes,
Yeah,
magic cannot do
never.
that at all. Never, ever
Never.
think about that.
But if I have all these powers, why can't I stop the foreclosure on the house?
God, this is also going to totally. He's going to be like, "I don't need the dog anymore because I'm cured." So it's like anybody that needs a support dog is a loser.
By magic, why can't I
It
stop our
doesn't
house
work
from
that
being
way.
sold and our dad from being dead?
Magic doesn't solve problems.
And what does it do?
Anyways, magic can portal you anywhere in the universe that you want to go. So you could totally just like, I don't know, rob a bank vault and save your house, but you can't, you see, because
Mhm,
you can't, because that would do a
mhm,
thing.
mhm. That would be bad.
The
Yeah.
way that we learn that the house
Yeah.
is being foreclosed on too is amazing. It is a 10-second scene of the mom coming home, and there's a printed out white piece of paper taped to her door that says, "House foreclosure soon, final sale."
Sure.
Like,
That's the
yeah.
first time she learned of it too, oddly enough.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
so-
Your dad died and your house is being sold? Oh. Good thing you don't have magic, kid. And even if you did, it wouldn't fucking work.
Oh god, even
Right.
before he picks up the magic book, there is a setup too where he's like,
Yeah.
"You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna learn magic because that'll mean that I won't be bullied at school." So he learns a whole bunch of illusion tricks, except that he's really fucking bad at them and just drops all the
Yep.
tricks every time he starts performing them. And so he gets really bullied at school
Mega
for some
bullied.
reason.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know
weird.
why. Like, magic
Yeah.
is really cool. Everybody loves magicians.
Oh man! So an Obi-Wan hologram comes out of the Book of Christian Writings, written by
Yes.
a printer
Yeah.
press from the 1600s.
Oh.
that's been bedazzled. And
Mhm.
Obi-Wan is like, You're chosen, you have magic, and you will use it for good and not evil. I believe in you, child, who will not do evil things with your magic." And the kid's like, "This is amazing." And then the magic wizard poster on the wall like winks at him and does a little eye wiggle.
Oh,
So you know that magic is happening.
I forgot about that he just goes like, "Oh man, magic is real." And then it just shows the poster on the wall wiggle and then it cuts and that's the end of that scene.
They photoshopped that poster to wiggle. Yeah, it looks
They
good.
like smudge tooled that. It's just incredible. It's just a smear. Like they just pull the poster.
Yeah. Do you remember what the kid uses magic on first? Like when he's trying it out for fun?
I don't.
All right, so the
Is it the
mailman
bullies? Oh
is
no,
delivering
yeah,
mail
yeah.
at a nearby
Yes.
house. Well, first of all, first he removes his mother's quiche from the oven and ruins it
Yes.
as a
Yep.
joke,
And gaslights her
and
about
then
it.
gaslights her about it. And
Because
then
she's like, wait, where I put that quiche in the oven? He's like, guess you're just real fucking stupid. Sorry you wrecked dinner, mom.
and then he just leaves.
Bye.
Yeah. And then the mailman shows up and delivers mail in the mailbox, and he throws it all out of the mailbox on the ground. And the mailman's like, "Not my fucking problem."
I
And
put it in the
leaves.
mailbox. Not my fault what happens to it afterwards.
And,
Fuck
and
this shit.
And then bullies are bullying him at school, and he teleports behind them. He's like, "Nothing personnel, kid," and traps them in the
In
mime
mime
dimension.
world. Yeah, I know. Like, Jesus Christ. He goes instantly as evil as possible. And he leaves these children to die in the mime dimension.
We never see them again.
No. They starve to death in there. They have to. They can't leave.
Oh man, what a film! This is like 20 minutes in. There's so much, and
There's a
yet so
lot that
little.
happens real fast, but also so little that happens so fast because none of this matters.
Oh man, so then they go to the movie theater where all the movies that the director has made are shown,
Mhm.
and only those films. So the movie they go see is The Amazing Wizard of Paws, and the intro starts with Obi-Wan and Chief fighting in the woods.
We're not joking. This is actually this is literally what they do. They do watch the movie of the movie. They spaceballs the shit out of this.
We recursion the film and start it over again, but we're watching
And when they
it in
show the
movie
cheap,
theater.
shitty, like magic effects where they're shooting like After Effects lightning at each other, the audience goes like, "Whoa!" and jumps with it every time because it's so enthralling.
It's so fucking good. It's so good. And then Jeef like turns on the screen and looks at the audience, and the audience like, "Whoa, Jeef is almost in 3D. It's like he's really here." And then Jeef shows up and coming
And
out
he's
of the
really
film,
there.
and he's really there, and they're like, "Whoa, it's like he's in 3D and he's really here." And then he starts shooting them with magic and blowing up chairs and
And
starting
they go,
the
"Wow,
theater
it's
on
almost
fire.
like the movie is actually shooting at us and blowing up chairs and lighting things on fire. Incredible."
Yeah, and then they're like, "Wait a minute.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
we're supposed to be scared." And you hear a lot of audience members going, "Ah,
Oh,
oh no.
oh,
Ah, I think a
oh,
warlock has come out of
oh,
the screen and is attacking. Run, ah."
oh, he's using magic on them, and then he's gonna use magic on
On
me.
me.
Oh
Oh
my
my god.
god.
Yeah.
The
Ah,
delivery of these lines are
it's some shit.
stellar.
It's some shit.
It's like honestly perfection.
Oh
I don't
man.
think that they intended that at all, but it really is that bad.
So Jeef locks the kid in the theater by locking the door that he's trying to exit through
Mm-hmm.
that hallway. And then Jeef and the kid get in a battle of magic.
Yep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Where
mm-hmm.
So there is a recurring superhero that they created for this movie. I've got to wonder if that's from one of his other films. It's
It
gotta
has
be,
to
right?
be.
Like
It
it has
has
to.
to be.
He has to have made some shitty superhero movie or
Everything in
something
this
somewhere.
movie is just so self-referential and
It's all the
absorption.
Stoller verse.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a Stoller verse, but there's a Stoller verse, and we're gonna have to explore it more because he's got more dog movies, man. He's got more. Anyways, it's this Magneto knockoff looking motherfucker who's in purple armor with a yellow cape. It's
You know
just,
who it looks like? It looks like Bible Man.
you know what it looks like? It looks like this doodle that I used to do in like 5th grade while I was bored in class. It is
That's
some
true.
unbelievably shitty art. And so he rips the armor off of the like cardboard cutout. It really does look like Bible Man, yes.
Yeah.
But he rips the cardboard cutout's armor off in a way and it like floats at him magically, and then he's covered in the superhero
The cardboard armor.
cardboard armor. But then he doesn't use it because Jeef shoots like fireballs at him, but they're actually bullets because they're leaving like big bullet holes in the wall behind him, and he's matrix dodging them. Like this little kid is doing like a Neo around all of the bullets.
It feels like I was high or something though, because I kept cutting back to the cardboard cutout, and the cardboard cutout's on. Just you can use your magic to shoot him with bullets and fireballs. Use your magic, and it keeps cutting back to him with this shitty cardboard armor. He's like, "Yeah, I'll use my magic."
Yeah, there was
Like
something
things
in
in the background
popcorn he
keep
was eating.
talking, and I'm like, "What is happening?"
It's wild. So the Jeef gets, oh god, what does he do to stop Jeef here then again? He like,
I think he just like shoots him.
I thought that he just shot him and like teleported him
Yeah.
away. Yeah,
And
like
then-
he just shot
and
at
then
him
he
and he
just
falls into a
leaves.
bunch of boxes. Well, and the way that he leaves though is so good because it's just push doors, and he's knocked Jeef Warlock out. Jeef Warlock is collapsed in a bunch of boxes, and he turns and he magics his arms way open, throwing his arms wide and his head back, and light explodes from his eyes, and the doors gently open.
Yeah,
It's like, you push,
it's a push
you
door.
could just,
Yeah,
you could just
fucking
could have
leave.
walked out. You could have just pushed on the door and left. It wasn't like held shut.
Yeah.
There was no lock. It's just
Now, there was this battle scene, but the kid's not done being evil with magic yet. So he goes
Oh,
back
hell
to the
no.
restaurant to get
Now
revenge.
no one
on
can stop
Tiny.
him.
Yeah, he needs
Jeef
revenge.
tried to stop him, but nobody can now.
I think Jeef might be the good guy.
Jeef is absolutely the good guy.
Yeah. So the kid goes back to the restaurant, and Tiny's there again, being like, "Hey, get your fucking dog out of my restaurant. And if the manager sees this again, he said he's gonna fire me."
I'm not allowed to do this, so get the fuck out fast because my manager is going to come back and I need to abuse this child who has a service dog very, very quickly. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Tiny is speed running, abusing this child.
It's so bad. And then now the fetish happens.
Yeah, it does.
So in Santa Store,
Describe it for me.
in Santa Store Dog, a doggone adventure, there's a very tiny elf with big
Yeah.
boobs.
Yeah, she's
And
really tiny.
she keeps showing up
How
in
tiny
scenes
is
because
she?
she's very small, and
Yeah.
the director
she's
gets
really
off on the
small.
fact that she's small.
Is
So
she
in this
super
movie,
small?
the kid makes Tiny tiny, and then Tiny's
How tiny
like,
does he make him?
"Oh
Describe
no,
how
I'm
tiny.
I'm so small and tiny now.
Oh,
Look how
God,
tiny
yeah?
I am."
You're really tiny?
Yeah, he's super tiny.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
Keep going.
And then the kid's like, "I got you now. Now you're gonna get crushed by someone walking by, or a rat's gonna eat you. Get
Describe-
fucked, Tiny. You're gonna
describe
die a
him
horrible
slower."
death. I'm the hero." And so
And
then
the manager comes in and goes, "I'm
Yeah.
gonna fire you! You're fucking fired! Get out of here!" And he's like 3 inches tall on the... It's Mr. Tiny.
Dabber, do be tiny.
Oh god, no, his fetish again!
Not
no,
again.
Boix, god, I don't...
Not again!
Not again, Boix.
This tiny fetish.
Let's go.
What you do to me, man? Where y'all go? Hey, you don't know. Hey, on the house, you have a milkshake, you have some french fries. Just come back to make me babysit. You have to insecure like this.
I warned you, Tiny. You're fired.
Doesn't mention anything about him being small. It just you're fired for yelling at that kid again.
And being 4 inches tall.
No, he was fine with that. Clearly.
Why is this guy
also...
so obsessed with... Okay, no, I know why. Never mind.
No, it's because it's his fetish.
There's literally only one explanation. Especially after Santa stole our dog, because oh my god,
it was bad in that one.
Wasn't she in adult films? Like, wasn't that what
she
it
was? An AV actress. Yes.
Yeah,
and she's very small.
Yeah. And he does like he likes doing the high pitched squeaky voice too. He makes sure
that gets him off too. Yep.
Oh god.
But
let's move on. So next scene.
You did another movie though about like returning the president's dog, and I don't see how you could fit the fetish in on that film. But I guess
just wait. We're gonna watch it next time on Rough Cuts.
So our kid's not done doing crimes though, because he goes to school and does a magic show outside, and he plucks a helicopter with human beings inside of it, making it tiny, which is not a fetish.
No.
Killing everybody inside by crushing them.
And immediately he goes, oh shit, I fucked up. There's people inside of this. Right. They're still in there. Hey, Tom, you over there. You can hold this. Enjoy. Here's a present for you. It's a toy. It's definitely not evidence of my crimes. See you later.
If anybody asks who killed those pilots, don't say me.
It was definitely not me. Don't worry about it.
Right. Okay, but the movie hasn't moved along yet. This kid's just been doing evil.
No, he just does a lot of evil magic.
So, in order to move the film along, they cut to the kid watching television, and it's a very specific show. And it was very confusing and weird. And there's some song about like, don't wanna be a frog no more. It's like this CGI nightmare drug-infused frog scene.
This was my favorite scene in this movie, because this fucking killed me.
In a hard cut from him killing some pilots in a helicopter to just this drug scene of what?
It's just a very, very badly drawn and animated frog that is the entirety of the television screen, so that you cannot help but look at how fucking ugly that frog is, because it is god awful. It is one of the worst animations I've ever seen of anything. And it's just sings just this little song, and he sits there and claps along with the song, watching it all happy. If this was a thing that you could watch for kids, it would be for like 3-year-olds. And it would also be titled something like Elsa and Shrek go to a tea party together and be on YouTube. Because that's what this shit looks like. It looks like, and then like you'll have Mickey Mouse be dismembered in the very next scene. But he's just like enthralled with this. He's like 14. He should not be like, it's just, none of this makes any sense. It doesn't fit the kid. It doesn't fit the movie. The mom comes in and just sees him, and she's just like, oh, you're, hi, watching that frog thing again. All right, well, you just enjoy that.
Don't wanna be a frog.
What are you doing, Ozzy? Expecting someone?
Are we just gonna... We're just gonna go past... We're just gonna brush over that, huh?
It's like the kids watching Wonder Chosen.
Yeah, it's just...
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, and so a commercial comes up, And the kid's
Oh,
sitting there watching the show. He's like, "Wow, I'm never gonna be able to help my mom with the house foreclosure because it costs money, and my dad's dead still." And then the commercial shows up. It's like, "Hey, want to win $1 million? Join our talent show. Kid who just was in a talent show for his school, you too can win this $1 million talent show. What if you do magic? Wink, wink, wink. Magic, magic, magician, magic. Join the show and new.
golly gee, that sure
Golly,
is probable and helpful for
that's
my
probably
exact circumstance right now at
just,
this
just
exact moment.
just show up in Las Vegas on this day at this time. It's easy. Great.
Yeah.
So he goes to Las Vegas without telling his mom.
Well,
Like
because
most
he has a
things.
portal in his closet.
Oh yeah, he
He
opened a
thought
portal.
about putting it in the toilet, but it would have been a
That's
portal
ridiculous.
potty, and that's silly.
Plus, like, if you poop, where would it go?
This has more in common. I'm starting to realize this has more in common with Harry Potter than we maybe gave it credit for.
Is it just fart noises? Yeah,
Magicking away your shit is
it's true.
time-honored tradition for wizards.
Sure. So he goes to the talent show in Las Vegas. Jeef shows up at the talent show because he knows that he's going to be there because there's $1 million at stake, and he knows about the foreclosure.
You thought that he defeated Jeef, but no, of course not.
Yep.
Jeef just shows up every like 25 minutes and then exits the film promptly every time. He just leaves. He never comes back after. Oh god, yeah.
So the kid's like, "We got to get rid of Jeef just long enough so I can do the talent show audition. I
It's
have
like, oh
an
right, there's a
idea."
Dark Lord that I'm supposed to be stopping this whole time. Anyways, on to the talent show.
Oh, I forgot to mention the dog's name is Ozzy, but his true name,
His wizard name, yes.
is Farsophrases,
Mhm,
as
mhm, mhm.
told in the prophecies.
Well, it was given to him by Zasaphosphorus.
It's a Zasphorus, yeah, which is Obi-Wan.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's their demon names. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Zasphorus.
So he looks at the dog Ozzy. He's like, "I have a great
Names.
idea. I know how to get rid of Jeef. Let's go." So then he just stands up and runs into an empty convention center, which is free to shoot at during off season. And in the entryway of the convention center, he's like, "I got you now, Jeef. You're gone. Magic." Jeef just shoots him in the chest with a fireball and kills him instantly. He's fucking dead. He's dead. He's super fucking dead.
Thank God. G finally ended this menace. This kid that's been killing helicopter pilots and shrinking down WWE stars.
He sent those bullies to the mime dimension.
Right? And Jeef has finally finished him for good. Anyways, then a bunch of like JPEGs and GIFs alternating of the child poke up all over the place. One of them is in the so it's supposed to be that he's done a duplication of himself. He's gone all Dragon Ball Z and used like the multi-form technique, and he has all of these different copies of himself there. But only some of them can actually move, because one of them is him running across the convention center, but it's right in the middle of the frame, so they knew that it looked really good for them to keep it there. But it's frozen, so like it's just a JPEG, and it's blurry as shit because they took it on like a camera that wasn't fast enough. Like the shutter speed and stuff was way too slow to actually capture it, so he's blurred out. Like
I want to point out that the director of this film, who's also the author of Filmmaking for Dummies, also wrote a book about making movies on a cell phone, which I could not tell at all. Yeah, but so Jeef murders like 20 of the kid in cold blood with fireballs, and he's like, "Wait a minute,
I'm tired of this," and then he just leaves.
I'm gonna leave. I'm out of this part of the film.
Yeah, he glances at all of the different kids, and then turns and walks out of the convention center, and he's gone from the movie for another 20 minutes.
So the kid does his audition, and it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
Because he comes out and the judges are all talking to each other like, "Oh, it's a fucking kid. He's doing magic. Ah, fucking
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's a
Jesus
magician.
fuck, he's gonna do goddamn magic."
Magic. Who wants magic?
And then the kid does his tricks, and the judges are like, "Is that all you got?"
That's your magic. Yep.
Fucking great. So like the kid's like making shit disappear, and he made his dog disappear, and then he hovers, and you're like, "Oh, hovering, yeah, I've seen that shit before." Oh
But
yeah.
then he inflates his dog, and the judges go, "Oh my god! Oh yeah, like
Oh, is that bigger?
Can you make them bigger?
There,
Oh my
there's a
god!
character
Can you show us that
Harvey,
again?
Harvey
Oh,
Birdman,
can you do
attorney
it
at
again
law, that's
slower?"
really perverted about size, right? Like,
Yes.
that's the
Yeah.
director. That's
Yes.
the director.
Yes.
Also, I think it's really funny that he made an elephant appear. Like, oh, an elephant. I've seen that before. Pretty boring.
Yeah, the one guy even goes like, "Yeah, I've seen that trick before." It's like,
however, we have seen this one before.
have you? You
Yep.
have?
So,
Is that a thing?
After the kid does the fetish of making the dog bigger,
Yeah. Then they're all impressed.
then the judges are impressed, and they're like, okay,
Mhm.
let's let him in. Let's let him in. And then one of the judges turns to another one. He's like, hey, this is the last fucking magician we let on this show. No more fucking magicians after this. Some bullshit. Fucking stupid ass stage magic bullshit.
That's the only magician we're gonna let in.
It's okay.
This is one of those things where, like, okay, does the movie actually know what it's doing? Because, like, it's the funniest shit that it's literally close-up magic as the thing, and it's making fun of it. And so you're like, do they understand how dumb this is? And I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. But the director also made a movie that's a spoof film starring Michael Jackson as like a hologram that talks about destroying Noah's Ark or something. I don't fucking know. Who knows?
Good evening, Agent Mike. The Ark will sail for 40 days and 40 nights. You must stop it.
But why? It's our only way off the island.
You have to stop it, Mike. If the Ark sails, it will trigger the most terrible, horrific storm, the perfect storm, if you will. History shall repeat itself unless you, Mike, can prevent it. The only way to stop this catastrophic event is to destroy the Ark. Destroy the Ark, and you destroy the storm. Noah is being held against his will, and the Ark has been taken over by species that plans on surviving on the Ark and taking over mankind once the storm ends.
What species?
The world is depending on you. I'm depending on you.
I bought all your albums.
God bless you.
Anyway, the kid leaves and then goes to school the next day and gets on his school bus, but none of the other kids are there. And when he looks at the driver's seat,
dun dun dun!
It's Chief Warlock pulling a prank on him.
I love that Jeef is in like a full bus driver's uniform before he magically transforms back into his emo robes. It's really good.
He's like, you thought I was a bus driver, but I'm Jeef.
Yeah, so this JPEG of a bus is shaking in the air to show that they're having their wizard battle. And I do mean that literally. Like they just take a cutout of a bus and just wiggle it through the air.
So then Jeef angles the bus at a 45-degree angle while he's floating in air. And the kid like slides down towards the door at the back and is like holding on, about to fall off. And at this opportunity, Jeef takes the key from the dog.
Yes.
Ozzy. And the kid falls out of the bus and opens up a hot air balloon and just floats back home safely like nothing happened, I guess. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
And then he promptly forgets that Jeef exists and is
that
like,
the key was
oh man, I
taken.
better go back to that talent show, the only thing that I care about.
But he missed the talent show because of Jeef's bus prank.
Mm-hmm.
So he's never going to get the $1 million and never save the foreclosure of the house. He's a total failure. And at this point, Ozzy's like, why don't you just go back in time so you can redo the thing and get $1 million?
Yeah.
To which we ask, why doesn't he just go back in time and save his fucking dad?
Well, he doesn't care about that.
The kid's like, I want $1 million.
Who gives a
That's
shit?
why.
I want $1 million. Fuck dad. I need some goddamn money. Dollar bills, yo.
What?
This kid is so evil. It doesn't ever occur to him. Not even a little bit. It never.
No.
I can travel through time. All right. Well, I don't have a dead dad or anything that I could solve, so
The kid could go back and kill Hitler as a baby, but no, $1 million.
I wanted really quickly when I can't remember exactly when this happened now. I'm trying to remember when was the $50 coupon?
That happened right after this.
Okay.
Because he turns a toy.
Oh yeah, because
steam
it's
train.
inside of the time
inside
stuff that
of
it
this,
happens.
in the time loop
Yes, I
stuff,
remember.
yeah.
I'm like, what did he use the $30 for? And I'm like, oh right, no, I remember. Okay, yeah. Oh my god, I forgot what he uses the money for. Holy shit. Okay.
So they turn a steam
Oh,
train
God.
toy into a steam train, which can travel backwards in time by traveling literally backwards.
You can only travel through time if you do a funny rhyme.
Yeah. Yeah, so he says a rhyme like I want $1 million, and if you don't, I'll holla holla. They go backwards.
That's about the level of rhyme, yeah.
But they go too far back in time and end up in CGI Jurassic Park 3 asset land. So he needs
Dinosaur
to come up with
yells out
another
his
line.
window.
He's like, "Oh no, I fucked up. Guess we're gonna have to buck up. Up rhymes with up, right?" And then it goes forward. But it doesn't go forward enough. It goes to 7 years ago in 2008, when absolutely nothing important happened in his life that was changing everything about his life and led to maybe a foreclosure of his house and disruption of his family.
No, nothing like that could have happened 7 years ago. What are you talking about? That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah. And then
Anyways,
he found $50.
Okay. He did not find $50. Hold up. What he found was a coupon from the universe that says coupon for $50, which he picks up and he goes, wow, a coupon for $50. And then he hands it to the universe, and the universe gives him $50. No, I'm not kidding. He literally grabs a coupon that's yellow that says coupon for $50 and goes, wow, a coupon for $50, turns it over, and it becomes $50.
Yep. So I don't know. He spends 20 of the 50 on some tendies from McDonald's, I guess.
Just buys some nuggies.
And then as he's walking back to where they traveled in time to at the station or whatever, there's a drunk guy getting in a car, and he's like, "Hey, drunk guy getting in the car. Maybe you shouldn't get in that car and take a cab." And the guy's like, the fuck do you know? Leave me alone, kid. I'm drunk driving here. I'm drunk driving. What are you doing? I'm trying to
Hey, I'm drunk driving here.
Excuse me, are you sure you're okay to drive?
What's it to you, kid?
So the kid's like, "What if I gave you $30 for a cab? Then would you take one?" And the guy's like, "Wow, $30. I can buy a cab with that."
And he immediately
Thanks,
breaks
kid.
down and starts crying and is like, oh my god, someone actually cares.
And the kid's just like, "Can you get away from me?"
All right, man. I gotta go back through time.
Yep.
And I absolutely have not changed anything substantial about the universe.
No. So then they travel back forward in time to current year outside of Las Vegas next to a sign that says $1 million talent show this way.
Yes. Yeah.
And he shows up. He's like, "I did it. I traveled back one day in time where before Chief Warlock did his prank, and now I can win $1 million."
Nothing else changed. Nothing else at all.
So he does the talent show, and he sucks because he's been losing magic now that Chief has the key, which sucks magic from your soul.
Yeah, now he can't do magic. Not because he just used it all traveling through literal time and space.
No, he's
but
very
because
weak. Yeah.
At this moment, just now, only now, Chief Warlock stopped him and stole all of his power.
Yep. So as the judges are watching his magic act, and they're like, "Did we let a fucking magician on this show? What are we doing?"
Didn't we say no magicians? Fuck this.
Yep. And he finishes his act, and it sucks.
Yeah,
And
he can't do a single trick. Yeah.
one of the judges says the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard, and I'm gonna let you talk about it because it's so good.
I was ready to make a joke about this while we were watching it because she's like, I'll tell you what I told Jason Beaver.
Who's not Justin Bieber at all.
I'll tell you what I told Jason Beaver. You're like a bird. And I was like, and you just hit a window. And then she goes, and you just got shot out of the fucking sky. And you exploded into feathers and fell to the ground. And now you're a dead bird. You're a dead, awful bird, you shitty fucking child. You absolute moron. You total fucking failure. Get the fuck out of my hair. Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out, kid! Get out! Get the fuck out, you dead bird!
That's not an exaggeration.
And the other judge is sitting there staring at her like, well, I think that might be a little harsh, actually.
They're like, oh, I think we're done here for the day. Thanks for
the
coming by.
one was looking at them like, whoa. the one kind of understood.
My sweet little magic man, I'm going to tell you what I told Jason Beaver when I saw him perform when he was just 7 years old. I said, Jason, you are like a bird soaring through the air.
You're the bird.
Soaring high. And that bird has been shot.
Right.
Do you see? And it falls and it's just its feathers now. And it's flailing about all over the ground.
It's really sad.
It's not good.
Okay, but you have wings, Bobby. Use them.
And never give up on your dreams.
Your dreams, Bobby. Thank you. Next.
So, like, the judges are going back to their limo. Because whatever. They all live together. Are they a polycule?
No.
It might be a polycule.
You said limo. I need to correct you on this. They were going back to their white van with no markings on it.
Good.
You don't remember, it was just a white van. They picked up like a rental van for like these celebrity judges. Anyways.
And the kid stops them as they're getting in. He's like, hey, come on. I want to be on the show. I want to make $1 million. I really like money. And they're like, hey, kid, I said you're a fucking dead bird. Leave me the fuck alone. I'll call security and they'll beat your ass. He's like, okay, but before you punch me in the face, let me do some magic. And he does, like, he makes his dog look like a werewolf, but only in silhouette because they didn't want to pay a CG animator to do it.
Yeah.
But he does the most heinous magic of all. The most cursed magic.
Yes, they immediately go, well, it's not even a full moon, kid. Your dog can't be a werewolf, you fucking moron.
Idiot.
And so then he goes, well, fine. I'll just have to kill millions of people then. Watch the crescent moon become a full moon, and he rips the earth around in its orbit.
He spins the earth so fast that it changes phases of the moon. And the judge is just like, wow, amazing. That's magic. Wow.
This is like 30 seconds after he was like, oh man, I have no power. That's why I can't make my dog disappear behind this sheet. And now suddenly he can fucking change the course of the entire moon and like oh my god. Anyway.
So they let him back on the show because he killed a bunch of people again.
Mm-hmm. And you have to acknowledge what are you going to do? Are you going to deny him from going on the show and be responsible for the next mass extinction event this child causes?
So Jeef heard about the moon thing, and he's like, I have to stop this fucking kid.
This is too far. I need to stop it. Oh my god, I've been trying. I finally have the key, but I need the book. He still has power.
To stop his power. So he shows up at his house again, and time freezes his mom and the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And shows up in the hallway. He's like, all right, kid, let's go. You're going down. You did the moon magic. That's forbidden. And the kid's like, I'm going to kill you with my magic. Oh no, my magic. And Jeef's like, yeah, I have the key, which is sucking your magic from your soul.
I'm Jeef, and I'm doing a big suck.
Yeah, and then the kid's like, oh, that's weird, because I just have other magic that's unexplained and has a different power source for no reason. Ooh!
Yeah, he levitates the book over and throws it at the guy, and the guy's like, "Oh my god, but you don't have
But
any
that's what I
magic power. How are you doing this?" And I think the implication is that he's doing it through close-up magic,
I
but we
guess.
also know
Did he
that
did he
this
put some
child
strings on it and he's, like, using fishing line or, like
but we know the kid can't do that.
he sucks
We
at it,
know
yeah.
we know that he's bad at actual illusion magic, and he even needs to learn it later on because he like in the next scene soon, he's going to have to learn actual prestidigitation, like actual
Yep.
stage magic, because he's never learned it because he had the cheating powers of actual magic. So what does he use here? It's oh my god.
I don't know, but he tricks Chief into throwing the key by giving him the book,
By
which he
giving
was
him the book.
implicitly told by Obi-Wan to never give
Never
him the book.
do. Yeah.
And then he uses the magic power of the key to banish Jeef to hell with the book.
With the book. Yeah, he throws the book to hell too.
Yeah, he sends them both to hell or the mime dimension. It could be both.
Could be either. Yeah, and now nothing is able to stop this
Yep,
child. And
nothing
he's
can stop this
free.
child. He's all powerful. So the kid decides nobody should have this key power. And what does he do to get rid of it?
He flushes it down the toilet.
He flushes the key down the toilet where it will never ever be seen again.
Hey, you're flushing keys down the toilet. We're having the house foreclosed on. I can't pay for a plumber. Don't flush keys down the toilet. What are you doing?
It's
Meanwhile,
the
his
best
mom is
scene.
locked out of the house
Yeah.
in this scene.
Yeah,
Just
because she can't
they
get
lost
in.
the house before this. The house is
Yeah.
already foreclosed on.
It was foreclosed. It has a bank auction sign on it. And it's funny because, like, okay, so after the scene where he stops Jeef from saving the world, she's outside trying to get in, and she's like, "Oh no, the bank is selling the house. I can't even get in anymore. They changed the locks." And she breaks down, and she's crying, and she's just sobbing, and on the ground in the fetal position. And it hard cuts to Las Vegas. Welcome everybody to the $1 million challenge show.
It's the $1 million.
Yo, everybody, we're super happy here today.
This is the happiest I think anybody has literally ever been.
Best day ever.
I'm dying. It's the funniest fucking thing. Oh,
So then he has to learn magic. The dog's like, well, the magic was in you the whole time anyway.
Oh.
And he figures out how to do stage magic in the like 3 hours that he has before the show. And also all magic is sealed away, so he can't get to Vegas, except his magic is still there because he still has a magic portal in his closet, I guess, although they don't actually show him go
the real
through there.
magic's in his heart. Yeah.
They just show him in his house
Or
in
whatever.
Arizona and then suddenly in Las Vegas, and we don't know how he got there. I'm assuming the portal.
Yeah,
but
but
it's
he
supposed to
doesn't
not exist anymore.
He
I
does
don't
a
know.
magic show, which is really lame, and then he copies a bunch of stuff from Penn and Teller, which is slightly less lame, but like it's not good enough in a way that Penn and Teller would have made it interesting, you know?
No, it's the stuff that Penn and Teller do where it's like the sawed in half trick, but like because like they'll do that and then they'll put a spin on it, and he just does the regular
He
trick.
does
It's
the
just the most
lame
basic
version.
ass magic.
And,
Yeah.
and the audience is like, yeah, it wasn't as good as
Yeah,
that didgeridoo band, but yeah.
Oh my god, there is a didgeridoo band in the
Like a
background of this whole
didgeridoo
thing.
folk band is
God,
what
I
it is.
forgot.
Indie
I
folk.
forgot that when it cuts to the talent show and it goes like, "Wow, we're the happiest we've ever been. Welcome to the $1 million talent show." It does a montage of all of the finalists, and they're doing like, "Twinkle, twinkle,
It's real bad.
little star," like little children singing like that, and people doing bad magic tricks and shit. Like, oh god, it's a cavalcade of the worst most talentless people you've ever seen.
And then the didgeridoo folk
and
band.
then they do a didgeridoo folk band, which
Holy
are the
shit.
obvious winners.
Yeah, yep. So
Oh
they
my God,
go
it's
through,
so
like, third
wild.
place goes to some Kelly Clarkson knockoff, and then second place goes to the Kid Magician. He fucking lost. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Get the fuck out of here. Nobody likes magic.
And the $1
David
million
Copperfield
goes
ass
to
knockoff
someone else completely, who's way
who we
better
don't
than that
even
fucking
see.
magician.
We don't even see. They don't even reveal it. We know in our hearts, though, that it's the didgeridoo band.
I hope it was the didgeridoo folk band.
You don't have to
kick
hope.
ass.
We can make it anything we want through the
Yep.
magic inside of us, and it's the didgeridoo band.
So the kid goes back through his magic closet portal to his home, I guess, and he hears like somebody downstairs, and his mom's flirting with someone. He's like, "Oh no, do I have a new dad? Is it my stepdad?" And he runs downstairs, but no, it's not a new stepdad. It's his real dad who's alive. And now, I guess,
because he changed the
yeah.
timeline, but it only happened now.
And he's asking his mom, like, what about the foreclosure? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've been here with your very alive dad the whole time, dancing and kissing.
So you always call when you've called something. I want to point out that when he went back in time, I was like, and it was like 7 years, I'm like, okay, he's going to save his dad. And you're like, well, and nothing changed. And I'm like, no, his dad is still saved. And you're like, well, how do they explain that at the end? I'm like, they won't. They'll just have him show up. And you're like, no, but they can't do that. I'm like, no, they will just have him show up at the end with no explanation, even though obviously the timeline would change. And you're like, but that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, if that's what they'll do, though. And that's what they did. They did it.
So then he goes back to his bedroom, though, and he calls up Obi-Wan on his hologram phone. And Obi-Wan's like, I know I said I would never see you again, but I really had to play a prank on you. I had to play a prank. Your dad's back. And he's like, but how is my dad back? Remember when you went back in time? Before we figure out what changed, I need to show you this very graphic video of your dad dying in a car accident to give you further stress multiple times. And we're going to zoom in on parts where you could see the gore. And this is where he flew out the window.
Do you notice how his lifeless body gets ejected from the car out through the windshield in slow motion? Let's just slow that down a little bit more.
Right, now I'm going to add some background music to make it really dramatic, so it really sticks in your mind. And he's just watching this. Is like, okay,
yeah, like he replays the whole dad's death for this child, like in detail. Shows the dad get in the car accident and everything. Hey, would you like to see your father die?
You changed the future by doing
I'm dying!
simple.
I'm dying! And then afterwards, like, okay, you have it stuck in your mind, so you'll always see it in your nightmares. Okay, now remember when you went back in time with that drunk driver? That was the guy that crashed into him. You saved his life that day. And the kid's like, why did it wait until now then to change?
Why did you just
like, and Obi-Wan's like, oh yeah, sorry, the time tubes were clogged and it took a little while, I guess. My bad.
Yep.
What?
The time burst was delayed.
Remember how we told you could never ever fix this foreclosure situation or bring your dad back from the dead by traveling backwards in time? That was all a joke. We were lying to you. Anyway,
we thought it would be really funny if we gave you magic and the power to save your dad and your mom, and then didn't let you do it as a prank.
Yeah, this is like a munchie prank. That's what this is. It's a fucking munchie prank.
Oh,
they were just fucking with this kid.
He could have saved his dad the whole time, but nah.
And then the kid's like, that's okay. Now I know magic, and I have a dog, and my dad's alive, and we have a house still. It's the best. And it hard cuts to credits, and then after the credits, we see the key on the beach washed up from the toilet.
We get a fucking Jumanji ass
And there
ending
could
for
be
this.
anybody could get cursed by this key to see their dad die for all eternity in their head.
Yes, this
Great.
key for this book that he sent to hell, but you wouldn't need a key for it anymore anyway, because when he put the key in the lock disintegrated and was no longer on the book.
Yep.
So why do you need
The key
why
is
do you need the key?
because the key gives you magic, not the book that you have to read to learn magic. What?
Let's rate the dog.
I guess, yeah. Ozzy.
So we have Ozzy.
Farsophrases.
Yes,
is his true name. His true name. If you say it too many times,
you can't speak it 3 times. Yeah, don't say it 3 times in a row.
Summons a demon, though. Ozzy is the same dog from Santa Stoller Dog, A Doggone Adventure. I think he uses the dog in all of his movies, actually. And I think the real dog's name is Little Bear, because he put it on the poster. Is Little Bear in. So he's trying to do like a Benji or an Airbud thing or whatever, make a famous dog. I don't remember what I rated the dog in Santa Stoller Dog, A Doggone Christmas. Because it's the same dog.
Yes, yeah.
But this dog, in this particular movie, kind of stares creepily off screen all the time, not at anything in particular. And
no,
when it isn't doing that, it does talk, but only like moving the lips slightly upward and downward in a Photoshop way.
It's a really bad effect, yes.
And none of it's very good. I think the dog doesn't really do anything other than like duplicate itself at some point. For some reason. This is just like a very standard 10 out of 10 dog. I'm not really impressed with this dog.
This dog is well trained in the way that they make it stay very, very still so that they can CGI the mouth. Like that's one of the things with any of the dog movies. That's something we don't actually talk about a lot with like Super Buddies and like all those Disney films and stuff too do the same thing. When they have the dogs talking like this with CGI, what they're doing is they're making the dogs stand as still as possible so that it's easier to animate their mouths.
Yeah.
But they don't freeze the dog. They just get it to stay still because they want it still like move a little bit so it's kind of lifelike. But it means the dogs are just sitting there really creepily all the time and they don't have any action shots of the dogs doing things because they have to animate them, and it's, like I said, way easier to animate if they're not moving around. Then you don't have to adjust for a whole bunch of stuff, which makes watching the dogs extremely unexciting because it is just a dog staring into the middle distance that has been told to stay, right? Like it's a dog that
it's boring.
Some trainer goes, sit, stay, and then they hold on the dog while the actor does their thing for like 3 minutes, and the dog just sits there. It's a cute dog. The dog's really cute. It's a nice little.
It's a very standard 10 out of 10 dog. Yeah, there's nothing.
It's a 10 out of 10 dog.
Nothing interesting and nothing wrong with this dog.
No,
now the other
boy
dog
that it's staying so nicely.
Yeah, the other dog we got to rate is Jeef.
Jeef Warlock. Yeah,
Jeff's father, Jeef Warlock.
He'd be really disappointed with his son. He did all of his best he sacrificed himself to lock away magic for all time so that this child could stop fucking with time and the moon and killing people.
I love Jeef. I love Jeef so much. What a good boy.
He's very good in this movie.
He pulls pranks. He does magic. He just sort of wanders around.
Jeef sacrificed himself for us.
Jeef is very easily a 14 out of 10. What a good dog. Yeah. What a hell of a movie. This dude, like Bryan Michael Stoller, he might be a genius.
I'm coming around on his work.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I might just be a fucking genius. Like, this is a film I would recommend to folks that do not like studio movies that are just very clean and nothing interesting happens. people that are into like The Room and Neil Breen movies and shit that's just weird.
I think that we found another Neil Breen is what we
Yeah.
did. Like we have, from everything that we've seen from this man, all of it is incomprehensible on so many levels. Like you don't understand. Like how does this guy keep making movies? Who's giving him money? Who
Michael
works
Jackson
with
was
him?
giving him money. Yeah,
R-
Michael Jackson was
right?
working with him.
Right? Like he's
And Dan
he is a
Aykroyd, apparently.
character. Yeah, Dan Aykroyd wrote the foreword to his book
His filmmaking book, yeah.
in exchange for Bryan Michael Stoller doing the foreword for his book about how ghosts are real and they fucked me.
Yeah, and his Crystal Skull vodka.
Well, yeah, you gotta do that if you're gonna do one.
Gotta drink an entire skull of vodka.
Yeah. I'm so excited to check out some more of his movies because he also has a movie called First Dog. It's about
the president
dog
movie.
president. Yeah. So we'll have to. I think that we're going to have to go back to the Stollerverse. I had no idea when we first started this that we would end up in a bunch of movies from the guy that Santa stole our dog, and that I would like this one. Not because it was good, not because it was well done, not intentionally, but this is a movie to see. It's an experience. But yeah,
thanks for listening, everybody. We are Rough Cuts. You can catch us on Twitter at Rough Cuts Cast. Also, email us if you have any suggestions for any films. I think we actually got a suggestion.
I was
recently,
just going to say we in fact have an email. I was going to read it here. We were emailed one that was saying like, have you all considered the new DC movie, League of Extraordinary Pets? I think I haven't seen much, but what I have seen. Can I say that I noticed the Xbox game before knowing it was a movie in theaters? Soon? Now? And I believe that it's soon.
I think it's League of Super Pets, which is like the Krypton, or what is it, Crypto the dog? That's an unfortunate name in current times. But that's about Crypto and other Superman-themed animals, which are from like the 70s and 60s cartoons.
Yeah, this has been a thing before in the comics.
They're making a new CG movie. It's not out yet.
No, it's soon.
If it's bad, I would be interested. But I have a feeling it might be too sterile.
We'll see. But this is from Abby. So this is an email from Abby, like I said. And like I said, anyways, even if you all aren't interested, I still super appreciate your podcast and haven't stopped wrecking at Anytime Dog movies from my childhood I brought up. The conversation of which is surprisingly frequent. Good vibes to y'all. The process isn't too draining on y'all. Stay safe. It can be extremely draining. I just wanted to address that. But it certainly wasn't today.
Not today. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Last week, Day of the Animals. Whew.
That one was rough.
There's
But
some
you can
draining
also
ones.
support us on Patreon.
Yep.
Make sure to do that if you are enjoying the podcast. Helps us keep the lights on. Helps us with hosting and renting films. I paid money to watch this today. As usual.
Yeah.
So anything that can help towards
hard
those
American
fees is helpful.
dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for that email, Abby, and thanks everybody for watching us. And we will.
And we're on TikTok.
now that we're like those kids on TikTok.
Hello, fellow kids. I am also on TikTok. Hello.
We might have some things to share from this movie, I would say.
Oh man. All right, yeah, that's all I got. And then I found $20.
Oh wow, a $50 coupon.
Whoa, where'd you get $50? That instantly makes the story better. Wow.
This is amazing!
My whole life ruined by dogs.
But they're dogs. Just dogs.